So as we all know today, that media is something which you can't forgo. You just can't think of anything, whether it is economics, whether it is sports, whether it is politics. Each and every arena or each and every section of the society needs media. It's not only for information, it's also for keeping yourself updated with certain things and all. So media as a whole, as we all know today, has got its own way of doing things. One is, as we speak of the media today, because as the subject deals with the very thing, very gender, the sensitivity, and even the media for that matter. So as we all know today, media has got a very huge responsibility, or I should say, a social responsibility of keeping abreast of all the activities which is happening in and around us. Media today is not only a service minded kind of a sector. Today, more of the media, it has become an industry. Okay, so when I speak of media, you can think of your global media, we can speak of a national media, we can speak of the local media. Okay, and media was, which used to be a kind of, I should say, social responsibility kind of a thing, which used to make the people think. Okay, when I say media, it is basically to provide you a platform for discussion. Media gives an idea, media gives you information which is usually debated by the people. What makes media so strong today is it gives you a food for thought. But it makes you people think, it makes you people comprehend certain things, it makes you understand certain things, it gives you a thing where you can debate on certain things. So that means media today encompasses everything. Anything under the sun today can be covered as media. So that is about the overview why media is important. Okay, it keeps you, as I told you, it keeps you on the toe all the time. They are very eager. Today everybody says information is power. Anybody who doesn't have an information can't be regarded as a person who knows everything. So you need to, people are very curious, people are very inquisitive to know certain things. So that is the power of a media. Okay, but when you look at the media today, so cut to that, why media is important. Okay, the cut to that, when today when you speak of media, it has become an industry. As we all know, you have their own business models which are being done. Media today, which used to be a service oriented, which used to think that they are the fourth pillar of the society, fourth pillar of the constitution, you need to upgrade the society, all those things. But today, over the past 3 4 decades, media has seen a rampant change. So there has been a kind of a paradigm shift from the media industry itself. The investment is different, the management today is different, the way the news and the issues are being treated are completely different. So why I'm telling you all these things as a basic thing is because whatever we'll be studying or whatever we'll be discussing in the coming slides and all will have a kind of connection with these things, media as an industry. Because only when you have a social responsibility, you can do something better for the society. But when you think from the business model, or when you think from the financial matters, things are completely different. And when I speak of media today, as you all know, it's not only the traditional media which used to be existed around 15 20 years. So you have your different media today. We have our print media, we have our magazines, we have our television, radio, digital, okay, online platforms, social media, so n number of things. Okay, so that means media encompasses everything. As an individual, as a reader, as a viewer, as a listener, you have many options which is available to you to get into all these kind of a thing. So that is how the media is today working. So my next important thing is about the reporting. So when it comes to media, so there are certain things which you need to understand, because the very topic of yours speaks about the gender. It also speaks about the sensitivity, gender sensitivity. Okay, the whole thing, the whole the paper what you people have been studying. But my perspective here, or the way I want to deal with this particular issue, is about how media is dealing with things. Why is being media being considered such an important catalyst which can bring about a change? Okay, so we are the change makers. We call ourselves as the change makers. We call ourselves as people who can turn the things around, whether it is constructive side or whether it is the destructive side. Media can do anything. So when it comes to media and when it comes to the reporting part of it, what is that media is reporting? Usually for the people, as sir told me, that if people come from a different background, different educational background and all. So maybe you will have an overview of things. But typically when you're working for a media, so there are certain things which are being reported in different ways. One is, especially in media, whether it is electronic, social media, or whether people report things on issue based. The issues, what is the current happenings which is happening, the current issues which are running. It can be abduction, it can be your politics, it can be sports. So there are many a times where we take the things issue based. Okay, how, what are the issues, what is happening in and around. It can be a Nepal air crash can be there, or it can be the elections, upcoming elections in Karnataka, or it can be the Narendra Modi's visit to Karnataka. So there are certain reportage we do on issue based. That issue can be women, issue can be men, issue can be LGBT, issue can be transgender, anything for that matter. So it is issue based. Okay. So what is happening in and around us, we try to report it and we try to bring it to the forum. The second important thing is about the personality based. So one of the important element of news reporting is what we think is the personalities. Everybody are not a personality for that matter, especially when it comes to news. To become a personality, you should have name, you should have fame, okay, you should have done something very extraordinary things, or you should be a person who has got a good fan following, like our politicians, like our entertainers, like our sports people. So news, we also look into personality based. Okay, so there are certain things, it's not always have to be issue based. If the people are very important to us, we also consider issue, or sorry, personalities also. What person, for example, what Aishwarya does, what Amitabh Bachchan does, or what he does, what she does. Okay, because the personality is also very much important for that. The third important thing would be the gender based. So our whole concentration will be on this. Why gender? When I speak about the gender here, it is gender based. When I say gender, it used to be only male and female in the previous time. But now, with the constitutional thing, with the approval of the constitution of the India, okay, so you have one more gender called as a third gender, which is also very important, which is also equally very much important for not only from the media perspective, but also from the perspective of society. So there are many issues which depends on the gender. Okay, so gender is also one of the important component, because whether you come from economics, you have a gender budgeting. Okay, where women are being gender, you have got a children budgeting coming up now. So you have got tribal which are being based. Okay, you got different kinds of thing. So gender based also reportage is being done. How media treats a issue when it becomes a gender. For example, if a man commits a crime, like for example, let us think about raping a person or killing a person, how is the media treating that man? If the same thing comes to the women, how she is being treated? Okay, the Delhi case, I'm just giving you an example so that you can interconnect it. So the Delhi case, which happened around 2-3 months back, where the boyfriend had chopped the girl into pieces and he has dumped it somewhere. Okay, so if the same issue was being done by a girl, how the media would have reacted? As it is male, as it is female, how the media is reacting? Because even gender has got a lot to say when it comes to reporting. People see things in different way. Okay, so if a person does an accident, it is different. If a female does an accident, things becomes different. The way the media treats the thing becomes very gender biased sometimes. So we Hello, madam, you are unmuted.
Madam, participants, please wait. There is some internet issues.
So can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, the power went off. The power went off. So
Yes, madam.
uh, switch over to my mobile, but anyways, I'll see to that I'll finish my sessions. Maybe people will not be able to see the PPT, but anyways, I'll go ahead with it. So there are many things which usually happens gender based. Okay, so how the people are there, who are the people who deals with these kind of things. So gender based. At the same time, you also have one more way of reporting, which is called development based. Okay, so we have certain things in journalism which speaks about the developmental aspect. Okay, the developmental aspects, how the country is progressing. So what are the developmental changes which has happened, whether it is a positive development
Voice is
or
break,
a
madam.
negative development. So we usually look into those kind of things all. It's not clear?
Not clear, madam.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Madam, sometimes voice will break. That's all.
Can you hear me now? It's not clear?
Yeah, now it is
Now it's clear, ma'am. Now it's clear.
That's what we are there with. It's clear?
No, madam.
I'll go ahead. Shall I go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes.
can't hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay. Fine. So the thing here is, it's about how the people are being treated in the media. So there are certain categories. So we define these issues like whether it is issue based or whether it's gender based or whether it is the developmental based. But at the same time, you need to understand that media has got its own way of dealing with things. So usually we call the women issue or maybe the gender issue as a marginalized one. So when I say marginalized here, don't think only about the tribals, or don't only think about the women or children. It encompasses everybody. Okay, so media, what has happened over the period of time is it has started marginalizing the certain issues in the period of time. Okay, so the next important thing here
Madam,
is
voice break, madam.
how the attitude. So what constitutes, when I say about
Madam,
the
voice is not clear,
marginalized,
madam.
or when I speak about the media as a whole, so ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Can you hear me?
ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Madam, your
Voice
voice
break
is
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
not clear.
Okay. So the power went off. So maybe there is some fluctuation with the internet. ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ. ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ. ಈಗ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ
madam.
ಇದೆ. Yes, madam.
The power went off, so there is some fluctuation in the internet. That's the reason why I'm using my mobile. So let me see what best can be done. Okay, so when I speak about the media, their treatment and all, so they encompasses such genders, but at the same time we also speak about the marginalized part of the society, where we consist of, it can be women or it can be our children, it can be the, in terms of LGBT, it can be about the race. So there are different things which come out of women in the issue. So there are certain things which you need to understand. How does a media, or what is the attitude of media towards gender? How are the issues taken up by these media will treat the women when it comes to the gender? One is what you call as the selection of the news. Okay, the very first important thing what you need to understand is about the selection of the news, because everything is happening around, in and around us. Can everything be called as a news? Does everything becomes a news? That also needs to be understood. So, and there can be some news which can be many of the fake content when it comes to women, kind of a thing. Okay, so the selection of the news is also very important. The attitude of the media is shown in the selection of the news. There are many important issues which may not be shown, but there are very trivial issues which can be blown out of proportion, because we see what is real and what is, which is important, but how the news is presented, how a particular issue, how a particular personality, or how a particular developmental issue is being presented. I'll just give a small example. If there are hundreds of dowry deaths which is happening in the country, okay, so there are many poor women, there are many middle class women who die because of this dowry death. You must be knowing the issues and all. But if the same thing happens with a personality, or if the same thing happens with a celebrity, the way that things are treated is completely different. So what I need to tell you here is the presentation of the issues, the presentation of the issue sometimes become very biased, okay, or sometimes it can be even unbiased also. But as a media, your responsibility here is to see and to present the issues with facts and figures. Okay, so you need to do the reporting, you need to send the issues which are completely unbiased. Objectivity should be maintained. It's not be about subjectivity, but it's about objectivity. You need to check out about all these things. The third important idea about the media attitude towards gender or towards the marginalized society like women, or maybe the LGBT, or maybe the children, race and all, is about the relevant sources. Media always depends upon proper sources. How do we make news? For me, a reporter is a source. For me, organization is a source. For me, agencies are a source. For me, my neighbor is a source. Okay, so news keeps coming from different sources. Many a times, it so happens that when we are reporting issues related to gender, it is not very authentic. Just for the publicity, or just for the exaggeration, or just to give more of a TRP, things are being done with irrelevant sources, which is very wrong. Many of the people blame media today because they think that all the information given to the media, or all the information what you see in the media, I'm speaking of social media, I'm speaking of television, and I'm speaking of other kind of media, but not the print media, because even to this day, people believe in print media. Okay, people believe that the information given in the print media is always very authentic. Okay, they investigate the stories, they go behind the stories, they get the right kind of an information, then that news is presented to you. So what happened here is, it's not only the selection of the news which is in presentation, should understand the language. What kind of language are being used? For example, I told you a woman is being killed. Here, what is more important here is a girl or a female or a woman or a child who is a girl by nature is killed. But how do you represent her? You represent women as a prostitute. A prostitute has been killed. A pregnant woman has been killed. A Dalit woman have been killed. So the thing is, when you do the presentation, what matters here is to instigate certain kind of a things. So that needs to be taken care of, because these kind of not taken care of. So you need to understand that when you're presenting the facts and figures about gender, whether it is male, whether it is female, whether it is LGBT, whatever be the thing, you need to use appropriate kind of a words, because if you don't use the words properly, it can convey a different kind of a meaning. Because today people understand things in a different way. My experience is there, my culture is there. Okay, so for me it is something different. For me, for example, if you are a person who hates women, so you'll see things only in a negative way. And if the story is in a very negative way, it will add on to your thoughts in a bad thought. Okay, so there are many things which media also needs to understand about it. Then, as I told you, you need to have the PPTs which I've already prepared. I'll be sharing it with sir after my sessions happen. Okay, so you need to have a relevant sources which should be very authentic. Then many a times our media fail to do a follow-up stories. why gender issues or why gender sensitivity issues or why we are not able to do a proper sensitization of the gender in the country is because there are no follow-up stories. As you all know, India is a country which has got multicultural. We are into multilingual kind of a thing, and we are multi-ethnicity. Okay, people come from different background. Our food culture is different. Our dressing is different. Our attitudes are different. Okay, we are brought up in different kinds of a culture. All these things will impact on the media. You are not targeting only one section of the society. You are targeting different sections of the society. So it is not possible for me to give the news which is good for everybody. What is good for you may be bad for me, or what is bad for me may be good for you, because it is our thinking, it is our idea which bounds the news into a very proper way. But at the same time, we also don't have something called as follow-up stories. We never have the follow-up stories. We need to understand reporting issues related to gender. It has to be followed up. No news is complete. Every news will have the follow-up stories. So I'll just give you again, I was giving you the example of this Delhi case where the girl was being chopped. See, it was there for more than 8 to 10 weeks. But what is the follow-up now? What happened to the boy? So nobody knows about it because there is no follow-up stories. So one of the drawback of the media is we are not able to provide them with a proper follow-up stories. Okay, that is also one of the things which you need to understand. Then different when you consider this, there is something called as the treatment of treating, or the media is treating the categories like men, like women, like children, or maybe like this LGBT in a different way. Let me give you one example. First thing is, do you think, especially in the class, in the session, as we all know, media has not been very fair to them? When it comes to women, we are not fair to women. Media is not able to provide justice. Everywhere we speak of empowerment, everywhere we speak of women, everywhere we speak of Nari Shakti. Okay, there are a lot of things which are doing, but is the same thing applicable in the society? No, we don't see. Even to this day, we see domestic violence. Even to this day, we see sexual assault on women, which is happening, or maybe on the LGBTs, maybe on the tribals, maybe everything is happening. So how in an academia like this, and we're all academicians, as you all know, you see, media is nothing but it is a part of the society. Media is not operating outside the society. I am responsible, the whole universe is responsible, because today people need these kind of information. People need information which can be enticing to them. People need news which can be very interesting to them. Okay, so this how media is treating these gender issues. Are we fair? Are we doing a kind of a balanced reporting? So that needs to be questioned. That's the first one. Second thing is, how is the gender issue is being projected? I told you, right? There are many examples. How do you write? I told you usage of words. How is it being projected to the people? Okay, many of the things may not come to the forum. Many of the reality doesn't come to the forum. Okay, don't see, because I told you media is a platform. It will give you the information, but you will read only what media tells you. So you will see only what media shows you, not the other part of the story. Okay, so that is what you call as the agenda setting theory. Okay, the media has something called as the agenda setting theory, where it speaks about what it wants to project. What is it I want to show? I want to show one particular party in a positive way. I'll do only that only. I'll not speak anything negative about it. So while showing only the positive and the side of a particular story, I'm mounting your opinion. Okay, I'm trying to mold the opinion of the people by showing only she is good, she is good, she is bad, he is bad. So the opinion of the people will start forming. Can I mean? We need to see whether Are the issues related or not? That's the second thing. The third thing is, by projecting these kind of issues on women, on children, and all, are you creating the right kind of opinion? See, public opinion is very important. When we are in a democratic country like ours, people form opinion very easily. At a drop of an hat, everybody has an opinion. Okay, you know how people are. Well, some people are for, some people are against, some people are neutral, but everybody has an opinion. Ours is a democratic country, so there is nothing wrong in having an opinion. But by projecting bad things about an issue, what kind of opinion are you created? Good people are shown in bad light. Bad people are shown in good light, because this is the opinion. The media helps you to create an opinion. Start getting an issue. Development. So this, I told you today, media is a business. What the investor wants to show you. They want to show. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Madam, yes.
Yes, madam.
I'm extremely sorry. I'm extremely sorry. There is some internet technical problem. I'm extremely sorry about it. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾ madam.
Okay.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ
So
ಇದೆ.
video on ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. I'll just go audio wise. Okay. So the next important thing is, what is the level of acceptance? Okay, society li inta issue when the society where the
Madam, voice break
opinions
ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
are
Madam,
created. So what is the acceptance level which is there in the BME is well? Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So the thing is, what is the acceptance level in the society? Because as I told you, people coming from different background will not accept things very easily. Things keep changing according to their things. But the kind of projections what media show, for example, you see films or you see advertisements or you see the news reports or maybe the social media trolls, whatever you people are seeing, keeps telling about different gender. Okay, it projects the things not in a particular manner, but in a different way. I also had kept some examples here. For example, it says trafficked and raped an 18-year-old tribal girl has been killed and has been raped and has been killed. Okay, so the thing is, these kind of issues, or maybe domestic violence, or maybe it speaks about the women, it speaks about the dowry cases, how India has been getting more into the dowry cases and all. So the thing here is, you need to understand that media is not only the thing. So as a personality or as an individual who is a regular follower of news, please understand there are certain things also why women or why these kind of gender issues are not being given a proper kind of a coverage. One is the coverage aspect. Okay, today I told you, people think that today rape has become a very common thing, or maybe killing, dowry deaths have become a very common thing. Okay, or maybe getting pregnant at the early age is become a common thing. So the way media is treating these issues is not in a proper sense. Okay, and there's also a lot of reasons for negligence. When I told about media, so there are many reasons for their negligence also. One is non-support. As a society, what is that we are trying to do? Are we staying in a civilized society? See, just because some tribal girl is being killed, just because a dowry death has happened in my neighbor, I'm not bothered because it is not happening in my house or it's not happening within my family. So one of the important thing you need to understand here is the civil society, the role of the civil society is very much important for the media. Media says it is showing only those kind of things because people like seeing crime. People like seeing something atrocities on women. Okay, so there has been a strong non-support from the civil society that needs to be understood first. The second important thing is there is no emotional support. We have been doing a lot of research to see and to understand women's studies and even the media studies, even the psychological studies research have shown that whenever the issues of gender comes into picture, okay, whenever there is an issue, see, women are there. As I told, women issues are there. I'm speaking when I speak of gender. I'm also trying to bring in the picture of this LGBT, the trans day. You can see some space dedicated to these gender also. And the second important thing, what we have seen in the media today is, especially when I've been working with some of the transgenders. So we have done some good programs where we have supported them for their political right, where we were able to get them their political ID cards. Okay, that voting ID cards. So we went to them, we sensitized them, and we told them that you are a part of the political thing. You have to get your ID cards, Aadhaar card, everything. So what they feel is these kind of things are not reported in the media. That means always being neglected. So that is also one of the things we need to understand as a civil society. It can be women. Sometimes women, educated women, they go to police station, they cry, but there is no emotional support. See, I'm an educated person. There are many doctors, educated doctors. There are many lawyers who go to the police station in terms of the domestic violence. But you don't see a support there. They are also educated. They know the law. But still, there is always a lacking of emotional support. And media done only with the powerful. Media stands only with the management. So our role is to be the voice of these voiceless. Okay, that is very important. As a gender, I don't say that women are very, I don't underrate women's got a right, not the same is with the LGBT also. It can be the transgenders also. It can be the children's also. See, but the thing is, we need a voice. Okay, we need somebody who can speak for us. And media can be one of the very effective and one of the catalyst which can bring about a change the way society looks into the things. There are many powerful movies coming in. There are many powerful advertisements which are being made to show that women is very strong, women is this, women is that. But are we practically adopting it to the society? That needs to be answered by us only. Okay, that is also the thing. The next important thing is, many a times we feel that if we support somebody, it is outside the societal norms. Our society, especially the Indian society, we are so strongly rooted in the cultural aspect, in the traditional aspect, in the religious aspect, that we see that if some women commits a small mistake, we think it is outside the societal norms. For becoming pregnant before the marriage, okay, or maybe the live-in relationship, what is being given by the constitution. I'm not supporting all these things. So, but there are people, it is the constitutional right. They have their own constitutional right through which they can do it. But media thinks it as an outside of the societal norms. You don't find any women being supported if she becomes pregnant. We don't see it. She has her own background. It is different. Okay. And even the interreligious marriage, there are many things which has happened. Okay, you know how many people have been killed, how many couples have been killed because of these kind of societal norms. Okay, because they come from different communities, they come from different strata of the society. So this is also needs to be understood, that media takes into consideration the societal norms. What society is strong with, that is projected in the media. So that means we need to understand that media needs to have a very strong. Second, the next important thing is the politically powerless. When it comes to gender, we don't find many representations of women in the politics. So when we don't find representation of the women in the politics, who is going to raise the voice? Who is going to change the rules and regulations of the society? Who is going to change the constitution? Who is going to be a part of the rule making? So we don't have that much of a thing. So politically also, when it comes to gender, we are extremely powerless. Okay, that also needs to be considered, and that also needs to be taken into account. The next important thing is about economically broken. Gender, again, I'm speaking about transgenders and women coming up. So women are always dependent on their father or husband or children's. Now we are very, I won't say, but not all women are economically independent. Okay, there are many women who are completely depending on, though they have been working, they are dependent on their family, they are depending on the male counterpart. Okay, we do depend. So sometimes it so happens why women are not able to raise their voice and why they're not able to approach the media is because they're also economically broken sometimes. Only when a woman is financially independent, we can do something. So when you have got, when you know the rules regulations, you can do something. When you can't do anything, the media is not going to say nothing but a reflection of the society. What happens in the society, the same thing is reflected. But these are the societal norms which are still holding on, especially when it comes to women. We are still holding on to these kind of rules and regulations that do lack of support from the family, lack of support from the husband, lack. Hello? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am. Yes, madam.
Okay. Thank you. So then we are also economically broken also, because I just want to go and do a press conference, or just I want to go and speak to the media. There are many things we need to understand. Then, as I told, lack of support and unrecognized sectors, and we are unorganized sometimes. Okay, we don't have a force behind us. If there is a man fighting, there'll be 100 people behind it. If there is a woman want to fight for a right or something, we always have to stand alone. So that is also one of the important, because we are not so well organized, or maybe gender wise also we are not so well organized. Okay, so you need, and also we are unrecognized. Though we form the 50% is male and 50% is female, that's how we recognized. They don't consider women as a powerful tool today. Okay, they don't consider women because they think nothing can be done. And why I'm speaking about all these things is because media has a very prominent role to do here. I'll just giving you a small example. I'll be sending you the thing. So 2016, 2018, you'll be shocked to hear, even to this day, we call Delhi as the capital of rapes. Okay, in 2016, there were 106 rapes per day in Delhi. Just imagine 106 rapes only in Delhi in 2016. So cut to 2022, it has gone up to 138. So just see how the things are happening. Media is there, our law is there, the police is there, administrations are going on, but still we are not able to stop these kind of atrocities. And media are only able to project these. They're not giving the solutions. We are not able to find the solutions for the problem. So we need to understand as academicians and all, so what can be done by the media? Okay, so that is also there. And I also written some of the examples where I've spoken about certain advertisements here, where I've shown, I was able to show you people something about how the society has started accepting the transgenders. Okay, transgenders. And I don't know how many of you are aware, everybody uses Facebook. Okay, so majority of us have been using the Facebook, I don't know how many of you are aware that Facebook has announced a new option, which is called as a gender option. Okay, so you may say male, you may say female, or you may not even say anything. Or you may say even transgender, you may say lesbian, you may say gay, you may say transsexual. The thing is, that means that much of importance has started happening. People have started realizing that you need to be proud about your gender. If I'm a female, I need to be proud about it. If you're a male, you need to be proud about it. Fine. So that means why I'm telling all these things is because you are trying, as a media organization, as a social media, you're trying to sensitize people. We need to be proud of our own identity. Just because you're a woman, you need to, not to think that you're the supreme authority. So, okay. So Facebook has come up with this new option where you can choose the gender option. Okay, if you are starting a new Facebook account, you'll see that link. Earlier it used to be only male and female. Okay, but very recently they have included much more new buttons, which says not to say. There's a transgender, there is a other kind of a gender bisexual. All those things are being written. That means the acceptance level is coming up. So you need to tell the people that their identity, their existence also matter to us. Okay, media can't change the whole thing all of a sudden. So I don't say whatever the media says is good, but somewhere or the other, there is a ray of hope. Okay, you need to bring in that ray of hope among the people. Okay, you need to tell them what needs to be done and what need not to be done. Then there are also many good number of films which are coming in. Earlier, if you have seen some of the good movies around 5-10 years back, transgenders have been shown in a very bad light. Okay, they used to be shown them as a prostitute, they used to show them as beggars, or they used to show them as criminals. Okay, but now the things are not the same. You can see the good characters of transgenders, or what you call as hijda in Hindi, or what you call as a eunuchs. Okay, they have been projected in a very good manner. Okay, so the one of the advertisement, what I was trying to show you here, advertisement. Okay, where the lady will be waiting in the car because it's raining, and one of the transgender was preparing the tea in the roadside. She comes and gives her a cup of tea. That means give them a chance to have their own existence. Don't think that transgenders are only about prostitution. It's not only about begging. They can, please don't think only here I'm stressing only on women. These kind of areas, these kind of into these new avenues. We have to look at a group of people or as a change maker, instill these kind of small things in the minds of the people, which is very much necessary. Just blaming the media, just telling them you are very full of negativity doesn't make the purpose served. Only what you want to see in the media, that needs to be told by you. You need to stand for it. Okay, so there are also many advertisements which have been showing which speaks about the adoption. Okay, wants to adopt a girl. Okay, there are many he or she, or how do you refer them? They. Okay, so that means they also have an attitude of motherlyhood. They also want to have a child. Okay, not biologically, but at least papers report these kind of positive stories. How many of them tell about these kind of positive stories? That needs to be assessed. And that kind of news should be encouraged. That kind of films needs to be appreciated. Because only when the society will start appreciating these kind of good gender-related activities, then only the acceptance level in the society will change. We have a very strong mindset. We are a very not so easy. Okay, you also know I'm also maybe rigid in some way or the other. But over the period of time, by sensitizing the people in different things, by sensitizing the people on these kind of gender issues, things can be changed. Things can be evolved. Okay. So the next important thing is what best we can do. So when I've been telling all these things about the different kind of things or their attitude towards the kind of stories and all. So what best can we do? Okay, because I come from the media department and I also have a lot of questions that how my students can do something better. There are different forms of media. One is the social media. I work on the area of social media, so I've been stressing on that social media. I don't know how many you've seen, there are many pages which are dedicated to gender. How many of us visit those pages? There are pages on women, there are pages on LGBT, there are pages on tribals, there are pages on minorities. How many of us visit these pages? How many of us want to become active on this? Because social media, say everything can't be written on media. And they have got their own restrictions. They have got their own limitations. Every news can't be printed. Okay, I told you, I know there are many disadvantages also. I'm not speaking about the disadvantages. I'm speaking about the advantages what we have. Okay, so the thing is, you need to understand, you need to be a part of the program. You need to be a part of the societal change. When you debate, when you put your point out, when you start discussing such kind of things, that is where the changes can be brought. And social media can be one of the strongest tool. Social media, I told you, social media can be used like a disaster. But I'm not asking you people to use it as a disaster, but to use it as a societal catalyst. You can bring in a lot of reforms. I have seen many pages where women empowerment pages are there, free women pages are there, where men also start speaking about the menstruation, where men have been telling about the kind of problem their wife or children's or daughters face because of menstruation. That means you make things easier. See, when I say menstruation, is not only related to girls. That is where you draw a discrimination, boy and a girl. You need to sensitize them. You need to tell them that it's a very natural way of doing things. So these kind of issues, which will not be discussing on TV or newspapers, can be a discussion forum for social media, because gender is not only about physical appearance. It's not only about the biological things about men and women. It is about how do you feel, how you can react to certain situations. So that's one way you can use the social media. The second important thing is about your medias, like you have got the folk songs, you have got the community radio thing, okay, where you people can do some activities, bring in some gender issues, gender sensitivities issues, which can be discussed. Okay, so that means like women empowerment, because we have been, as Nanju Swami sir told, yes, I was a part of this community radio. So we know that bringing these women to the radio stations, making them speak, making them a kind of giving them a strength that like no other academicians can speak. Okay, so that means you have to give a prominence to this gender. You have to listen to them. You have to provide them a platform which will help them to grow something much more better. So that is also there. Then there are, you'll be shocked to see that when it comes to Western countries, even in a city like Bangalore, we have a particular radio station called as Radio City. Sorry, you have got Radio City, not Radio City. Where we have LGBT, that is a transgender. She is working as a RJ. She comes and speaks. She comes and speaks about their gender. She comes and speaks about their problems. Okay, that means media can provide a kind of a platform. You are sensitizing the people, you are telling them they're from their real experiences. Okay, you are making them accustomed to what is important, what is not important. And there are many people who are advocating this kind of an LGBT kind of a thing that is there. Then advertising world also. Okay, because we are from the media, so we also use advertisings. Okay, a lot of advertisements are being used. A lot of advertisements can be used for developing women. See, earlier women, if you take up for example 10-15 years back, there were many advertisements where to be within the gungat and all 2021. Just go back and see. There are many good number of advertisements where the father or the mother promotes the wife to choose their own bride or groom. Okay, so you can select your own groom. That means advertising also takes into consideration all the good messages. So as a media, because there are good number of people who watch advertisements, there are good number of people who get influenced by the advertisement on television. Okay, so you might have seen all those kind of a thing. So advertisement can also bring in a lot of changes. Okay, the culturally, okay, which can be widow remarriage. It can be accepting the person who has been attacked by acid, an acid attack. I don't know how many of you have seen the film like Chapak. Okay, Chapak is a story of an acid attacker, which was done by Deepika Padukone. It's a real story. Okay, people used to think that acid attack person can't work, but she becomes a champion. She becomes a champion of standing by the girls who have been attacked through acid. Okay, she makes a group. Okay, they fight for their right. They get to know the law. That means, as a film, as an advertising agency, or as an advertising word, there are many things you people can do it in terms of gender also. Okay, so then at the same time, got memes. Okay, memes in the social media can also be one of the things. So what needs to be done? Okay, with all these things, I've come to the last slide. So what needs to be done? Okay, one important thing you need to understand is media, as I told you, is only a part of the society. It is not the society itself. Okay, so you need to understand that you need to accept the reality of the society. That reality of the society is not only about discriminating men and women in terms of gender, but at the same time to accept that both are powerful in their own way. Okay, so acceptance by the society is one of the important thing you need to understand. Second thing is the change in the attitude. I've seen many of the educated people, they don't accept things very easily. Okay, so what is the use of an education when you are not knowledgeable and when your education is become a very big barrier? Okay, so change in the attitude can be brought by the media to a certain extent. Okay, as I told you, you keep on giving the same kind of news, so it will change your attitude. If you show things in a very positive light, you can bring in the change in the attitude. Okay, so change in the attitude of the media. Third is let us try to provide, or let us get the means for the media also. So let us give more time, space for the people, especially the gender related one, in the newspapers or in the magazines or in the radio or in the television or in the film. Okay, that means you need to give them a proper representation of gender. Don't show women always in a bad light. Don't show women only in a different kind of a thing. Okay, she is a mother, she is a sister, everybody knows that. But why do you want to always show? You would just take into example the serials, the day-to-day daily soaps, whether it is Malayalam, whether it is Tamil, whether it is Kannada news, Kannada channels or Hindi, it always shows women. She is always shown as a villain. Every house will have a good daughter-in-law and a bad mother-in-law. So why is that you want to show them in such a way? So that means the representation of the gender itself is shown in a bad light. Okay, so that needs to be stopped. And we need not to encourage that. Okay, when I say that, we should understand that we need not have to encourage those kind of things. Okay, then at last would be the mindset. A media has a very important role. As I told you, it is a very important role for the media because it can mold opinions, it can change the attitude of the people, and it can also help in changing the mindset of the people. We need to accept, because earlier women never used to be given a provision of working. The girls were supposed to marry whomever the family shows independence with other kind of liberal things and all. The mindset of the people have changed to a certain extent. Okay, there is also other side of the story. They say when a woman becomes economically independent, he or she will never listen to anybody. That's the reason why the divorce cases have come up in India more. All those things are always there. Okay, because it's a society. You need to accept what the society is happening. But as a media or as a very important role of the media is to see and show us in a very positive light. Go by objective. Which try to show us in more objectivity kind of a thing, because gender issues are very sensitive. There are many people who have lost their life because the media has projected them in a very bad light. I would have seen that over the period of time, last 2-3 months back, even the month of December, there were more than 14 people, girls of the age of between 19 to 25, whether especially in the Bengali television industry and in the Hindi film industry, majority of the 13 to 14 girls have succumbed. They have committed suicide. Okay, they have committed all 14 girls, 13 of them have committed suicide. And you know what is the kind of picture the society or the television or the media shows? It's just, or because of she couldn't get a proper role, or thirdly they said it is because she was being exploited by the producer or by this. It's not the thing. There may be many other reasons also. It may be because of depression, it can be because of some ailment she has died, but the way you people project the women is that she has died because of these reasons. That means you are showing the women in a very bad light. She is economically independent. She is earning for herself. She's got a very good name. Why will she commit suicide? Maybe some other reasons may be there. But the way media, because people will accept that very easily. Okay, so that's the reason why I told you that media can break anything or media can mar anything. Okay, you can break it, you can construct it. Okay, you can do it, you can undo it. A lot of things can deal with the issues, especially related to gender. Okay, so I'll stop it here. I think it is 3:05. I'll stop it here. If any questions are there, I'll be happy to take it. Nanjan Swami, sir. Hello. Sir, can you hear me?
Madam, yes.
Hello.
Nanjan Swami sir is
I'll
not
stop it
here.
here. If there are okay, any questions is there? I can take any questions or clarifications or discussions. We can take it for 5-10 minutes. Need announce Madi.
Participants, please, any questions?
Any questions, any clarifications or any additions or any arguments are welcome. Or any opinions, if you want to share any of the anecdote from the media related to gender. The treatment of the stories, anything which you can tell us with some examples so they can have some discussions on that. Or are you happy with the way gender issues are projected in media? If you are okay, this is what the silence says, that we are accepting whatever the media says. Any questions, Ilva?
No, madam. We
No
are not
question.
happy with how the media is projecting the gender issues.
Okay.
Here, sometimes they'll glorify the certain issues, and sometimes they will nullify or hide that or something like that. So
yes.
I think they are not doing justification to the actual issues. That's what we feel. In what way we can have a control over it, or how one guidance to I mean what can I say, this how they are working. Okay. TRP, it's what I think. I don't know. Being a media person, what you would like to say? It's okay. What, like a layman, I would like to say like this.
Correct, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Suvarna, ma'am, for the question. If it's taken from you, yes, as you told, there are many organizations. See, ma'am, media is always free, especially in a democratic country like India. Media can't be controlled. Okay, we are given the freedom to speak anything, but at the same time, we also have certain restrictions. Okay, there are certain restrictions. For example, if there are some news or some glorification of the information which is being written on TV, or which is written on the newspaper or magazines, we have certain press council where people can write about it. Okay, Press Council of India, which will take charge. For example, as you have the medical association, like you have the bar council, the same way, even the media also has something called as a press council, where any false reportage or any glorification of the women's body or any glorification of the crime related to women or any kind of a gender can be reported. But how many of us do write that? Nobody. That's first thing. Second thing is, television also has something council, broadcasting complaints council. Okay, so there is a consumer complaint cell. Okay, that means whatever is being shown on television, if you think it is bad, you can write to the BCC. It's been more than 8 years since this the content complaints council is there. Hardly 15 complaints have been filed till date. That means every time you watch a television, there will be instructions down which says about BCC. If you are not happy with the content, you can write. But there are no people who want to content, because that's what I'm telling you, that role of this society is to involve. So there is a complaints committee. When you write something, the changes can be brought in. But when nobody wants to involve, so where do you bring in the change? So there is no participation from the people. So media thinks that whatever we are giving to the people accept it. So there has to be a resistance. So there has to be a resistance from the people. They should go against it. Okay, they should say that this is not a right way of doing things. So only when you do these kind of activities, when you involve or when you fight for these kind of causes through a public forum, or you can use your social media as a tool. Okay, how did the Arab Spring happen? It is because of the women who came. Arab Spring happened because of that. Women came together because of this social media. Even to this day, you might have seen the Iran incident. People are chopping their hairs. How is it happening? So that means you can use this media for a positive change also, provided you have that mindset. You change your attitude. You miss the general public. So that is the reason I told you there has to be, and it doesn't happen with one or two people. It has to be a collective responsibility. Only when we do things in a collective way, things can be changed to a certain extent. Maybe not very recently, or maybe 1 or 2 years is not possible, but maybe after 4 or 5 years, things may change. Yes, so your daughter may say something different in another coming years. So this is the kind of thing which we need to. Anything else, sir? Any other questions? Any other